Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to American Defender. As you can see today, we're taking a look at another Turkish bull pup. I have right here the Black Aces Tactical FD12 Pro Series, which is also known as the Tokarev TBP12 and a bunch of others. I'll go more and more into that kind of stuff later on in the video once I get home. Right now, we're just going to shoot it. You can see, hopefully out here, can they see the box and stuff out there? Okay. So these targets were already here. We're just going to shoot them. Today we're basically going to just do like we normally do, like we have with the BP12. But instead of doing a 100-round test, I don't have 100 rounds today. Today we're just doing a basic functionality test. This gun was used. It's already broken in, so we don't need to go through the 100 rounds and then another 100 rounds and do that. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with bird shot that we normally shoot. I got 5 rounds loaded in this magazine. We're going to see how it cycles it. The great thing about this particular gun is allegedly you don't have to change a piston in this. So I have slugs, I have buck, I have heavy shot, I have all sorts of stuff, and we're just going to see how it cycles, because that's really the name of the game today, because there's a lot of people out there that say these things are junk and they don't cycle, and I've pretty much proven all of them wrong. But we're just going to continue on, because maybe there's one of these particular firearms out there that doesn't cycle. Maybe there's a brand that's that way, and they're basing the entire group of firearms off of that one, model. So without further ado, something I haven't been able to say in a very long time. Let's stop yapping, and let's start clapping. So let's get on to it here, all right? Woo, yeah. All right, we're in. We're charged. Let's see how she does. We're gonna go for, let's see here. Can you see that black motorcycle helmet up front? Yeah, you can see it? Okay. Let's get these sights up. We'll see how they're doing. All right, it cycled all of that, no problem whatsoever. All right, so there goes the squirrel. I'm not going to hurt you, buddy. All right, so one of my air gunner friends might not give you the same fate, but I'm not going to hurt you. So, all right, so I'm going to walk over here real quick. And we know that bird shot did just fine. I got a few more rounds of it here. All right, this is some nasty stuff, all right? This is some stuff that I had, can you see it? I had in my shed. So I just kind of dug it up out of there the other day. And I don't suggest you doing this, but we are going to see if this cycles. This is all federal, number 7.5 shot, just like what we shot a second ago. But these rounds are kind of icky. They got some dirt and fuzz and little corrosion and stuff. So, all right, here we go. Let's try it again. We're going to cycle it a little faster this time. So, here we go. You ready? Here we are. Fantastico. Perfect. All right, so it runs buckshot, or bird shot, excuse me. Now, let's kick it up a notch. We want to go with this one or the other. We'll go with this one first. Okay, so what I have here is Winchester X Upland Game. This is 1,290 feet per second versus the 1,200 we just shot. 2 3/4 inch number 8 shot, 1 ounce. All right, so we'll load 5 of these in, and then see how it does with these. Now this is a little bit spicier. You're going to notice that we're going to do that today. Set this box down. Whoop! Where'd it go? There it is. All right. We'll load this in here. We'll see how it does. Recoil from that last stuff. What recoil? Recoil pad did its job. Trigger feels good. Cycling great. I love the fact that I didn't have to change a piston. Magazine goes right in. you are lowering the bolt on one of these, don't just let it slam forward. I'll talk about that more later, but ease it down in like that. All right, just kind of assist it. Don't just hit it. All right, so here we go. Let's see how it does with this. This stuff's 90 feet per second faster. It's a little hotter. Let's see how it does. We're going for that motorcycle helmet again. All right, here we go. All right. I didn't think it would have a problem with that, but you never can tell. So we know it runs at 100%. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so next, what we have here is more Winchester. This is the fast Dove and Clay load, 1,350 feet per second, 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 1 ounce of 7.5 inch, or yeah, 7.5 shot, not 7.5 inch. That'd be hellacious shot. 7.5 inches a shot. Size 7.5. All right, so yep, this is now we're getting into high brass stuff. All right, so this is definitely going to be spicier. We'll see how it does with this. You might be curious why I'm only doing 5 rounds a piece, because if it's going to fail, it's going to fail. I don't need to do a bunch of rounds. Also, with the price of ammunition, I mean, 3.5, 4 years ago, if I would have bought this box of ammo, it was $7. I paid 11 for it. So, it's getting up there in the price. All right, so let's go ahead and put our mag in. And let her down in there. We're loaded. Let's see how this does. Let's go for that. Can you see the box to the right of the helmet? All right, so we're going to go there. And maybe we'll pattern it all 5 shots to see what it is. Try to hold it center, see what it does. Okay, so we'll try that. I'll pull the box up after we're done shooting. We'll see how it patterns with this stuff. So here we go. Aha! Got a stoppage. Like I said, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail. All right. Oh, looks like we've got one more. All right. So what happened there? It looks like we had a round, like with the Garea Sarfir 103, that dimpled up there. It caught on something on the feed ramp. We'll just go ahead and see if we can pop it back in there. Why it did that, I don't know. Okay. There we go. Now it went back in. Give it the old one-handed 1-2. There we go. All right. So, could have been something with the mag. Could have been something with that round. Who knows? I think, should we do 5 more rounds of that stuff just to, you think 5 more rounds? Okay. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so I'll grab just to show you, because I know there's a lot of people out there like, you didn't show us the box. There you go. All right. We'll do 5 more of that. I mean, if it fails, it fails, but we'll see what happens here. Tell you what, having a sling like this really makes this easier. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. So here we go. There's the mag, and gotta find my place setting. Is this blue rock down here? All right. Ooh, yeah, look at that. It doesn't like that ammo too much. There we go. Yeah, let's see if it'll cycle fast. Let's hold it hard here. Bring it up and just give it some. All right, there we go. Spit those 5 out just fine. So it seems that particular loading, it does feel like it has a little, for some reason, it feels like it has a softer shell to it or hull. So did fine with those. We're done with birdshot for now. All right. Let's go ahead and Moving on up. I only have 5 of these. U.S. military issue. Good old Winchester. 2 3/4 inch double-aught buck. Old brown box special. You can always tell this stuff is the U.S. military stuff because it's green, dark green with a black. I'm going to chuck this over there at Mr. Fender. We'll get that in a second, baby. You can always tell the U.S. military stuff because it's got that green with that black brass on there. So it's 9 pellet. We'll see how this does. That looks good in that magazine with that green in there. Mighty tasty. So now that we're doing buckshot, there's a metal target out there. We're going for it. Alright, we're going to see what it does, see if we can contact with it. See how this does. Alright, so, can they see it in the viewfinder just fine? Okay, leaning up against that other thing out there. Alright, so let's see what we get here. We'll shoot the thing now. Ooh, I don't like those ricochets. Okay, see the red helmet sitting upside down to the left? Yeah, I'm not liking those ricochets. Going back for the motorcycle helmet. It's only fitting that I shoot at helmets, since I'm the guy that created the coconut and the helmet test. Alright, so, did all that just fine. Let's move on to slugs. So what I have here is one of the big bad daddies of the slug world. The Winchester 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch. Oh, these are, oh no, this is this is 16 pellet buckshot. I thought I grabbed slugs. This is 16 pellet buck. So I don't know what number that is. I thought I grabbed slugs. Well, I guess we're not doing slugs today. We're doing more buck. I'm sure you guys don't mind. So, there they are. 1B. Actually, I think this is number 1 buck. So we did double-aught, now we're doing number 1. This used to be my load of choice for home defense. Until I did some studies with bird shot and everything up close, 7 yards. And I switched to heavier bird shot. So, we'll see how it does with some number 1 buck. Alright? See how she do. Alright. What do you think? Helmet? Helmet. And then there's a target way out there up the hill. You see it? So I'll go from that to that target to the box. Yeah, we'll just kind of do a triangle between those guys right there. All right. Helmet, target on the hill, box, back to the helmet. All right. All right, and I guess we'll just put one more on that side. Snappy. Locked back, fed everything fine. Fed everything fine. Okay. And I never had to change a piston. Never had to. Whereas with the Centurion BP12, you have to change pistons with some of those loads. So, yeah. Yeah, I like it. Let's see if I have anything else up here. Let's, you want to shoot it? Okay, Mr. Defender's going to pause the video. And we're going to let her shoot some bird shot out of it. Okay, everybody. Miss Defender's going to try this one. She hasn't shot it yet. There you go. It's in. There it goes. Here we are. See how she does with this. Oh, jam. It did. That was that same stuff. I put it in there on purpose to see if it would. There you go. Just dump it out. Don't worry about it. All right. Now pick up your other round there and let's see what it looks like. Let's see if it did the same thing. That was that trap stuff. Let's see what we got here. We can see it, what it's doing. You can see how it's kind of catching right there on the end. Yeah. So when that happens, what you do is you take your thumb, kind of do this number with it, smooth it over, and then we'll poke it in the hole, and you'll go there, go shoot it. Get your vindication on it. Drop the mag out. Because I got it in the chamber already, so you can just drop that on the ground. Or you can put it there. There you go. There we go. Make it right. So there you guys go. I'd say it did just fine. It did just fine. There was a, you know, sorry about the wind, folks. That Dove stuff seemed to have a softer hull. When I first came in with the Federal stuff, they ran that no problem. Ran the buckshot no problem. I wanted to bring slugs. I'm sorry I didn't bring them. I thought I had. I need to zero these sights, but overall, guys, I mean, I can't complain. So here, Mr. Fender, put that up there. We'll see you guys back at the bench, and we'll do a breakdown of it. It's a very interesting breakdown. I'll show you some tricks of it, getting it down a little easier. Seems to be a very reliable shotgun. Seems to run whatever you want it to run. Let's go out there and get that box. And no, I'll go get it. I'll go get it. You don't have to run out there. Let's go get that box and see how it patterned. All right, so I'll pause this real quick and we'll see that, and then we'll switch on over to the couch, chair, bench, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so got the box here. That was about, I don't know, 35 yards or so away. And I don't know if they can see the box well enough. The bird shot covered the entire box, but you can see most of it's right here. All right, it's concentrated right there. But, you know, something that size, this box, whatever this box is, it doesn't have the measurements on it. I'd let you know what it is. It's an old certified Angus beef box from Meat Eater, Iowa, whoever the hell they are. Yeah, at that distance, that's your spread, is that box. So it's quite a bit of spread. But if you look closer here, try to get it up as close as I can. You can see it right up in this area right here. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pellets right there from that number 1 at that distance. It's a little bit bigger than a fist. So at that particular distance, that buckshot would have been wildly effective for self-defense, great for hunting, and overall, the whole thing, I think, did just fine. It did just fine. The couple jams that we had, I don't blame the gun. I blame the ammo, because it's a super soft hole. So, I guess with that, we'll see you at the bench. Be right back. Well, we're back, and I've got some really interesting stuff to tell you. So, I've already done this section of the video before, and I'm just going to jump right to it. The gun broke while we were shooting it, and we didn't even realize it. Okay, it did break. As you can see right here, the locking lug for the bolt, something happened. I don't even know how it happened. But the locking lug, the tang on the back, just snapped off. Like, just clean. Just might have been a, you know, impurity or something in the steel, or who knows. Okay. But it continued to function even though it was broken, which is really good. And we don't know at what point in time while we were shooting it that it broke. I do know that before we went out there, it wasn't broke because I had taken the gun all apart, gave it a good wipe down and oiling, and put it back together. Okay. So I also mentioned comparable models to this. Okay, so the Black Aces FD12 Pro Series Bullpup, as they call it, is the same thing, and it's actually made by Hunt Group in Turkey, and they just call it the FD12. The Pro Series Bullpup thing is the addition from Black Aces Tactical. All right. The Tokarev TBP12 is the same exact gun as this. The Panzer BP12 isn't exactly the same. The difference is the directions of the threads on the barrel, but beyond that, they're the same gun. The Gen 1, not the Gen 2. Okay. And there's some Chiappa and, you know, Charles Daly and ATI versions of it running around out there as well. So this isn't really a Black Aces gun. Black Aces slapped their name on it, and that was it. It ships with 2 mags. It doesn't come with any sights. These are UTG sights. They did come loose on me too while we were shooting. It ships with a forward grip, this black case, some chokes. It'll come with 3 extra chokes and the choke tool. Kind of pretty standard. Has a rubberized grip down here. Everything about it is ambidextrous other than the bolt lock mechanism on it. So you have magazine release right here, you press in. You have an oversized mag release right here. Ambidextrous safety, ambidextrous charging handle location. It can either go here or here. They even make a left-hand version of this that's, you know, left-hand eject. So there's just a lot of different versions of this thing out there. You have that cut mag well there so that you can get up in here a lot easier. It's a pretty thin little bullpup, 18.5-inch barrels, 28 inches overall length. It weighs about 8.5 pounds. She's kind of hefty. Lots of aluminum and metal here, as you'll see as we dig into this. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig in. All right. Now again, I have already fixed the bolt. Okay. I've already fixed it, fixed it. I took the pieces and welded them back together and put it back in there. I did contact Black Aces again, and just to reiterate if I hadn't said already, and we're going to see how their customer service does. Because I've heard horror stories about their customer service. I had talked to Mr. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, and if I do, I do apologize. Whale, I believe his name was Justin or John Whale, something like that, W-A-H-L. I had talked to him, and he basically told me, hey, yeah, just take pictures of what you need. We have the parts. Send them to me, and I'll get them out to you. All right, so I've done that. It's a weekend right now, so I'll have to wait for him to reply to that. But we'll see what happens. Okay. In the meantime, I went ahead and zapped it back together with my MIG welder, and it's running again. Okay. Well, it never stopped running. Either way, let's take it apart. All right. So the first things first, of course, no magazine. It's unloaded. We've already checked all that. You need to do that. You know, check all that. All right. First part to come out is going to be your charging handle. That's the first piece we take out. To take that out, we grab it and we pull. It's that simple. You might have to get something under there at first. This will come with a tool with it. You might have to use that to pop it out at first, but as time goes on, it gets a little bit looser and a little easier to use. All right. So we're going to start after pulling that. We're going to go up here and pull your shroud off of here. This is left-hand thread, okay? So we're going to go ahead and pop that off of there. Now inside of here in your forend on your upper, okay, take that shroud off, sit there. Inside of your upper here, there is a steel piece right here, aluminum piece. We can go ahead and pop this off here really quick. This will slide right off, all right? Don't lose this this little piece right here. This has your locking detent on it, and yeah, it's kind of important, so don't lose it. So we'll set that over here on the table. We'll set this aside over here. All right, now that we've done that, you can see right here where we are. We'll take the we'll go ahead and take this sling swivel off of here. Sling mount. Actually, I got to pop the pin real quick. I'll pop this front pin. Pull it right out. And I can kind of lift this off. Now, I mean, you could do both pins right now if you wanted to. But you just slide that off. Set the pin aside. And then this back pin here, we need to pop it out. Now, in this particular case, I have to use my tools. You may not have to. All right. I got to use my little gunsmith's hammer right here. If you're going to get into guns, these little armorer's kits from Birchwood Casey, they're lifesavers. All right, all your punches and stuff in there. So we'll just use our plastic end here. Get that started. I'll use my pliers here, grab the pin, and pull it out. Alright. Set those aside. Lift this up. Now you want this hammer back for when you go to reinstall it, and put it on safe so it doesn't fall down, because it can break your stock, and it can break your bolt catch here, which, by the way, the bolt catch in here is pinned in. Alright, unlike on the Centurion. So next thing we're going to do is take our detent here off the nut right here with the detent. So again, this is another left-hand thread right here. I believe on the Panzer, if I got any Gen 1 Panzer owners watching, if you could let me know and confirm that these are actually right-hand threads on the Panzer, I would appreciate that. Because if they are left-hand, then this is a Panzer then, basically. All right, so but these are left-hand on this gun. This next one right here is right hand. All right, so it goes left hand, right hand, left hand. There's a big nut down here as well. All right, so we're going to take this piston cup off with the piston, right hand thread. All right, take that off. Now that we've taken that off, we've got to come down here to this guy. They will come with a spanner wrench, as you can see, little notches in there. Mine didn't come with a spanner wrench, so I'm going to use a punch. And I'll show you how you do this. Get an appropriate sized punch. I want something a little bit thicker than that. That'll work right there. So this is a 3/16 punch. You could use a smaller one than this. I just want to get. I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit beefier. And all I'm going to do. Okay, so remember, this is a left-hand thread. All right, so it's left to tighten, right to loosen. I'm just going to take the punch and set it down on one of these grooves and smack it with a hammer. All right, that's all I'm going to do. Just kind of tap it back around. All right, and just kind of follow it around until I can move it by hand, and that's it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'll set that in there for now. We'll need that again here in a minute when we go to put this back together. You want to keep your hand up here. Keep a hold of things so it don't come flying out at you. But we're going to undo this. You'll hear it click here in a second. I think I just heard it click. Yeah, I feel it right there. Alright, well, we're just going to pull out. Alright, so there's how it comes out. You take everything out in one, if I could speak the English language, it would be great, in one pull. And there's your upper. Okay. So from here, then, what we will do is turn it upside down. Bring the bolt back. And if you bring it all the way back like this, and kind of lift it up, you can get it off of there and get the bolt out. Alright. And then we take this, we lift up on it, and you might need to push this nut forward a little bit if you want to get this off of here. I mean, technically speaking, there's no reason to take it off. While you're cleaning everything, you could leave it like this, or like that. You could, all right. But in the case if you don't want to, you can just slip it up and over, just like so. All right, and then that comes off just like that. And then so there's your barrel. All right, you get your gas ports. Right there's 3 of them. All right, and that's everything. That's taking it apart. If you need to get the bolt apart, it's just 1 pin. Right here. Right through that hole, it will have a stake. In the bottom, there's the head of it. You guys can see it there. All right. This is the piece again that broke. I'll go ahead and take the bolt apart for you. I don't want this to be no 30-minute video. This video alone, but I'll go ahead and pop this apart real quick for you and show you how you do this. All right. You're going to want to do it on a hard surface. I've already taken this apart, so I might be able to get away with this, but let's do it up here. Okay. So we're just going to take our punch, take our hammer, just like that. Let it slide down in there. Your firing pin shouldn't shoot out. If it does, there's a problem, which means it's probably broken in half because this punch will retain it. And there's that little pin. Put our thumb over the firing pin, pull the punch out. You pull your firing pin and spring out together, just like so. There's your firing pin. And then here's that locking lug. And you can see where I had to weld it up and kind of grind on it, grind it back down and everything on there. You can kind of see it. I didn't bother polishing it or anything because, you know, that's just superficial stuff. But that whole bottom half right there just snapped right off, you know. And this lug sits. I don't know if you guys are able to see it back in there. Probably not. Yeah, you can kind of see it up in there. See that notch up in there? This round spot right here sits up in that little notch right there, and it can't really go anywhere, especially once it's in the barrel, because, well, it's locked in right there. Like even right here, you know, if you've got everything. Of course, I don't have a pin in it right now, but even if you've got, you know, once you got it in the barrel and everything, it can't fall all the way out. It can only rise up so far. It can only go, you know, so far up in there. Plus, you have the firing pin in there. Well, even with the firing pin out, you can see it'll only go so far down. So it is what it is, though. We'll put the firing pin back in now. Your firing pin, by the way, has a notch in it. Right there. You see the hole? See the notch? They line up. Okay. We can take our little pin here. And I want to rotate this over here. I'm only rotating this because of the there's a stake mark on it, and I just kind of want to keep those lined up. You don't have to. Okay, take that, beat it back down flush. Okay, that's back down in there. And you can see how that works. Okay. It needs to be loose like that. I really don't understand how that broke, because you can see with it installed, it doesn't really do much of anything. You know, only thing I can think of is that it slammed backwards really hard on there and broke it. But I mean, that's the fully downward position. Even with that, I don't understand how it broke. It doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense to me right now. I'm sure if I think about it long enough, I'll figure it out. But all right, so we're gonna put it back together now. All right, take this, pop it back into our barrel, line your extractor to your groove, pop it in. All right, nut goes on, threads down, spring, and then your action bar. Take this, slip it back up over here, slip it on in there, give it a couple of those, make sure things are working. All right, once you do that, we flip it up. Actually, put it back in here. Okay, thread this back down in there. Again, this is a left-hand thread. And when we get it down tight with our fingers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that punch back out and kind of walk it back around. I don't like things being loose. You'll hear some people out there on the tubes of the U say that you can just do it finger tight. No, that ain't true. Okay, if that nut starts walking, this whole system can puke out. So just better to aim on the err on the side of caution and not. All right. So it doesn't have to be super tight, but you do want to tighten it down a little bit. All right. And again, this was hand tight before, so maybe that's why that other thing broke. I'm not sure. Okay. So we're gonna put our piston on. Right hand thread. Just go till it stops. Okay. Detent. The little silver side right there, that goes down. Okay, this is a left hand thread. Okay, be careful with your threads. Okay, lock that on there. Alright, now that that's that way, we reach back up over here. Well, before we do that, let's put this back on. A little sling mount. This guy, it sits like this on the gun. It can go to the right or left side, it doesn't matter, but it sits like that. Take our stock here. Line this up just like this. Alright. Now we'll lay it down. I'm going to put the pins in. I'll put the front one in first. Get my little hammer here. I'm going to need it. My front one, once everything is lined up the way it should be, usually, yeah, just slips right in. I'm going to give it a little love right there. Come back here with this one. Give it a little love. Okay. Got those back in. We will take our fore end. We will slide it on. Down. We got to sometimes you got to wiggle and jiggle. It'll eventually go down there. Kind of press it on there. Because it's got to locate into this stock. It presses into the stock here. So get it in there. Get it down. We put this in. All right, next, your block plate. This top part goes towards the top, up towards your front sight there. Little trick here. We're going to use this as a tool for straightening things out. What you do is you take it, and you can use it as a slide hammer if you need to be able to try to get this down here so you can see. All right, you can turn it around, do it this side, doesn't matter. You just kind of, or bring it around and kind of tap it down in there, and then tighten that down. Like I said, we start and end with this guy. Goes in, there's a keyway on the bottom. And that goes right there. Find the hole here. There we go. Poke it in. That's what she said. And then give it a few of those. Take it off the safe. I always pull the bolt back when I pull the trigger on these. And that's it. That's your takedown, guys. That's everything there. Okay. So, you know, it seems to be an okay shotgun. I'm going to say right now, just, you know, just because I had this one break right here, I'm not going to say that all of them are going to do this, because again, this is the only one I've ever had do this. This isn't like other companies and guns that I've owned where they've just consistently broken across the board on different models. I've tested, as you guys know, a lot of Turkish shotguns, and this is the only one that's broke. And even though it broke, it wasn't out of the water dead, you know. So, all in all, there's kind of a breakdown of it, the shooting of it, and you know, there was other things that I wanted to say, but in brevity here, so that I keep things short. I have to say right now, I like it. I do. I like the features of it. I like the way it's shot. Really light recoiling, easy to aim. Felt really good. We'll just have to see how it holds up over time, and go from there. Okay, and I'll have to wait to see if I can get those parts and stuff, and we'll have to continue on with this. So this may end up being another one of those guns. Well, it actually is going to end up being another one of those guns where I come back and I do, you know, another 100 rounds, you know, kind of video, or an update video, and then another one, and then another one, and keep checking in with it. So, there you go, guys. There it is. And girls. The Black Aces Tactical FD12 Pro Series Bullpup. And I'm going to get on out of here. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit them thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've had trouble with one of these or anything. You know, whatever you want to say it. You know, we live in a free country. And, yeah, I'm out of here. God bless you. God bless America. See you on the flip. Bye now.